It is the sweet sound of success.
Yeah, baby.
The 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney engine powers a Boeing 40C Biplane, the latest restoration project of antique aircraft enthusiast Addison Pemberton.
I really had a drive to do something significant in historical aviation. This was the first commercial aircraft success in the U.S. This was the first successful commercial Boeing airplane. It's a fair statement that without the Boeing 40, the Boeing Aircraft Company may not exist today. And that feeling is shared by Bill Boeing Jr. in a phone call with me a few months ago.
This is the world's oldest flying Boeing aircraft and the only flyable Model 40 in the world. Designed as a mailplane in 1925, the Boeing 40 was later modified to carry 4 passengers in an enclosed cabin. In 1928, this Boeing 40 crashed in the mountains near Canyonville, Oregon. It was recovered in the mid-90s and allowed Pemberton to begin an 8-year, 18,000-hour restoration project. With the help of his family and 61 volunteers, Pemberton returned this aviation treasure to the sky.
It's a good flying airplane. The control harmony, the controllability is reasonable. The pitch, the stability is remarkable. The engine, the Pratt & Whitney 1340, 600 horsepower, combined with the Hamilton standard propeller, is remarkably turbine smooth. What really held aircraft back in the 20s were the power plants. And when you marry this airplane with that Pratt & Whitney engine, it was a home run. I was born in Seattle, Washington. My father was an engineer for the Boeing Aircraft Company. In 1956, he started a family business that we still operate today, Scan a Valve, that manufactured wind tunnel and flight test instrumentation. Because of an asthmatic older brother, we moved to San Diego in 1956 and remained there until 1995 when we moved the family business, the airplanes, and our families to Spokane. I started flying in 1969, soloed shortly thereafter, got very involved with the antique airplane community at then Gillespie Field in El Cajon, just outside San Diego. I quickly began to appreciate the joy of antique airplane flight. You really feel like you're flying an airplane, much like riding a motorcycle versus driving a Suburban or a transportation vehicle. You don't fly an antique airplane to particularly arrive at a destination. That's just a benefit if it happens to end up that way. When you're in an antique airplane and you're between cities, I mean, that's what it looked like to Jack Knight, to any of the old pilots. I mean, it's unchanged. You know, if you're away from the interstates and away from the big cities, when you're flying an antique airplane, you are in 1928. So you not only get to experience the joy of flying the antique airplane, but you can put yourself mentally, you know, back then. It's fun. I like that part of it.
While living in Southern California, Pemberton not only learned the skills of restoring antique airplanes, but also how to fly them. He would later become a flight instructor, with one very special student by his side.
I married my wife, Wendy, in 1978. She was one of my students, taught her to fly. She wore very cute clothes to flight instruction, shoes with sparkly shoelaces, and lazy 8s and chandelles quickly led to romance. And we got married, and then Wendy realized that with the airplanes we were building, there would be a pilot shortage. So we raised 2 sons. They've since married, and they seem to have airplane compliant wives as well, which is a real blessing. The flight carries on, if you will.
When I came into this project, I was 14 years old, which is when we started the airplane. To put it in perspective, that's all the way through high school and all the way through college. You know, my freshman year of high school, I'm now in my senior year of college when we finished it. So it was really a big part of my life. We were evolving around, you can't schedule anything for Wednesday nights, and I loved it that way. It was my outlet. And with it, we made some really great friends.
In March of 2008, Pemberton's Boeing 40 made its first public flight at Felts Field Airport in Spokane.
I was overwhelmed with the response. A tremendous amount of people showed up. I didn't know when we invited the public to see the airplane fly if we were going to get 10 people or 100, and I've heard numbers anywhere from 500 to 1,800 people showed up. And I was very touched by that. Combine that with the fact that we did a demonstration flight that concluded with my 2 sons on my wing. And I mean, I was pretty well taken by emotion at that point. To fly over these people that are appreciating, you know, what's been done here, and then to look over and have my boys right on my wing, and look over the left side, my wife's down there. I was pretty giddy when I got out. I was pretty happy.
You know, if you ever get a chance to meet Addison, he's definitely one of a kind. He's the most uplifting gentleman I've ever been around. He's just a joy to be with. And his whole family, his wife and everybody's just incredible people.
He's pretty much the godfather of all the biplanes here, you know, the antique airplanes. He's the gang leader. His passion for people and just helping people, and the history of flying, and the people that do the great things have the passion.
He's a lot of fun to be around. He's a highly motivated guy, and he motivates people to do a lot of things. And so we've spent a lot of Wednesday nights together. I call him my BFF, best friend forever. He's a good guy.
You launch, I launch, you launch, you launch. Okay, when everybody gets running.
Under their dad's wing, Jay and Ryan Pemberton could become the next generation of pilots to fly the historic family biplane.
Yeah, at some point I'll get to fly it. I'm very excited about that, although right now I don't feel ready for it, and well, I'm frankly not ready for it. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking to think about right now, but I know I'll get some more experience and get to where I can fly it, and I'm really excited about it.
English poet Andrew Lord Tennyson once wrote, "The happiness of a man in this life does not consist in the absence, but in the mastery of his passions." With his family, friends, and a legendary Boeing airplane complete, Addison Pemberton is flying high.
I think I'm a motivated person. I enjoy people. Family is very important to me. Friends are very important. This aviation community, I think, is rewarding very much because of the people. I think people like to be busy. They like to do things. Bored people get in trouble. I don't care if it's a kid or an adult. You get bored, you do bad things. You stay motivated, you stay busy, good things happen, I think. And the neat thing is, you know, I'm getting all shrivelly and old and overweight and all those things. This thing still looks pretty good. It's going to look this good in another 100 years when it's sitting in some museum or something. It's a nice piece of artwork, I think.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.